Welcome back to another episode of Literally What. Happy weekend and happy February. I didn't really think we would make it through January. That felt like 5 months and it was only 1 month. But we did it and it is now February and we get an extra day because it's a leap year this year. So I hope everyone had an amazing January. You had an amazing week. We are now to the weekend. And for those who partook in dry January, you guys did it. We did it. I partook as well. I did have a margarita on my birthday. So I guess technically I failed at dry January. But it's okay because it was, we're just going to pretend it never happened. So yeah, for those who did dry January, you did it. And now I hope you go super hard this weekend. Just make sure to drink your water. And if you've never heard of milk thistle, I took milk thistle all in college. It basically is a liver supplement that people take when they get older. And I would just pop 2 of them every weekend pretty much. And it's a big help. So if you're going to go all out, drink some water, get some milk thistle. I swear by milk thistle. And I think if any of my friends hear milk thistle, they will always and forever think of me. So that's your little tip of the day. But we have so much to get into today. I am not going to lie. I have 9 stories. However, hear me out. A lot of them are shorter, so not a lot to talk about with them. But I just had so many stories that I was like, I have to talk about this on the podcast, and I couldn't narrow it down. So we have 9 stories. So I will try not to take up too much time in the beginning. We also have our Bachelor recap. And then to make sure I didn't go way long, I only chose one of the submissions from you guys for the end. I think it's a really good one. But make sure that you are writing in because I am running a little low. So please write in, basically write in any crazy thought, any crazy thing that happened to you, or anything crazy that happened to someone you know. And I think that's it. Make sure that you guys are following the Instagram, liking all of the YouTube videos, Instagram videos, giving us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple. I'm gonna talk about that every single week because it really helps me out and you guys are the best. So thank you for tuning back in. And now let's get into some hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what? Okay, so before we jump into stories, I know. I just have a few topics that I need to talk about because, my brain is going at 1,000 miles per hour and I always am thinking of random things. But one thing that came to mind is, do you guys remember I was going through my Instagram and I was stalking my own Instagram, I know, and I was scrolling back years and years and years ago when I was in middle school. And I was like, what are all these weird comments under my pictures? It was like these people that I used to know and they were commenting like BMS and they were doing like TBH and ratings. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is something that kids nowadays are never going to experience and will never understand. So if you guys remember, it was like this picture or like my post for a rating and then like this for a TBH. So TBH meant to be honest, and then a rating, you would, I guess, I don't know, was it you were rating their looks or personality? And that was like a 1 through 10 kind of thing, but you didn't want to be mean. So I think every single girl, if you were like giving a rating to like a girl, you would put BMS, which meant like break my scale. And I'm trying to think like if they did it for guys. I know for me, I was boy crazy growing up, and I would always post things like that to be like, I hope that the guy that I likes this and then I can give him a TBH, and they would never like it, so it was like the whole plan failed. But that was so funny, just like TBHs, and then you were trying to figure out, everyone's gonna see this because that was what everyone was doing. So if you gave one of your best friends a TBH, then the other friend, you have to give them like an equal TBH, so no one was like, oh my gosh, you like her better than me. But I was just going through, and then I went on some of my other friends who I knew growing up, and it was all just like BMS, break my scale, like you're so perfect, or TBH, you're just like the most amazing, special, beautiful girl in the world, and like I don't know what I would do without you, and blah blah blah. And it was, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that, and kids will never understand that part of Instagram that we all grew up with. And that was honestly, it was kind of toxic thinking about it. rating people, and then it would be like some random person would like it, and then you'd have to give them a TBH, or you'd give them a rating. And then I was like, what do I say? I don't even know them. And people would keep commenting. I feel like on my post, I was looking at one of them, and it was like 40 different people were liking and commenting. Or I think it was like, for a rating, you would like the post, and if you wanted a TBH, you would have to comment, because less people would comment, and you don't want to have to write out so many compliments to people. But I just remember that being a huge part of my life and my Instagram life, and I feel like all of me and my girlfriends would do it just so that the one guy we had a crush on would like it, and then we would have to give them a TBH, but they would never, you know, guys, like, they don't like Instagram pictures. Well, they do now, but that's a whole other topic. So anyway, that just popped into my head, and if you go back to your Instagram, let me know if you guys ever did that, or if that was just like my school and the people that I grew up with kind of thing. Josh Richards, if you don't know him, he's a TikToker, and he came out with this YouTube series. It's called, I think, like, we came out with the TV show, or we started TV. I don't know, but it's on YouTube. And I was listening to the BFFs podcast, and they were talking about how his first episode was premiering, and you know, he was a TikTok boy, blah, blah, blah. So like, it was probably going to be stupid, but I decided to watch it. And when I say I have never laughed so hard, I think there's 2 or 3 episodes out right now. It's basically, it kind of gives like SNL vibes. It's him and then like his other friends or actors, actresses, and they do like different skits, like comedic skits. So it'll be like 5 or 6 different skits in like a 20-minute show. And it's so funny and entertaining. And especially if you're my age, you'll understand like a lot of the things they're making fun of, popular trends or things that have to do with like in today's society, and making fun of just different things that are going on. It's really, really funny. So definitely check that out, because I didn't think I would like it, and it's hilarious and it's so much fun. So definitely check that out. And I think that's everything I had to tell you guys. I think I don't want to bore all of you guys, because there's so many stories, and they're good stories, but I don't want to be sitting here talking to you guys for too long, because I know you guys are going out and having fun the first weekend of February and the first weekend of not being Try January. Yes. So for me, I am filming this on Friday because my husband is planning some surprise for tomorrow, Saturday, and this will be up on Saturday, but he basically said that something's coming Friday, and I should probably film the podcast Friday and edit it beforehand. Like, I won't have time to do anything Saturday. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what surprise it is. And next week I'll update you guys on what the surprise ended up being. But I do have something coming tonight. So I don't know what it is. I normally figure out every single surprise because he sucks at surprises. Or I think he just doesn't like keeping the surprise and just tells me. But he's kept this secret for months now, and I haven't figured it out, and I figure everything out. I'm just a very observant person. So, like, if you ever try to surprise me with something, I 99% of the time will figure it out. I might not let you know to make you feel better about it, but I probably know. But this, I have no idea. And it's already Friday afternoon, and I still haven't figured out what it is. So we will see what this surprise ends up being. I'm kind of nervous, but I hate surprises, but more so I hate knowing there's a surprise. I feel like when someone tells you there's a surprise, that totally like X's off. No, it's not a surprise anymore because I know something's happening. If I'm surprised and I didn't know ahead of time that there was a surprise coming, I would probably enjoy it a lot more. I think it's the waiting and my just like chronic anxiety that if I know there's something happening, I am not okay, and I will probably be stressing out the whole night tonight until whatever it is happens. So I will stand by that. If you know there is a surprise, it's not a surprise. It's just someone keeping something from you. If you actually want to surprise someone, just don't tell them there's a surprise and then just do it, because that's the whole point of the surprise, is that they're surprised. You don't want them expecting something. Like, I'm expecting something tonight, so is that a surprise? Or just like a way to make me anxious? These are the questions we need to be asking. Okay, stories of the week. I genuinely cut out a few stories too, because I knew that getting into double-digit stories, that would be insane. So As always, I have all of the timestamps of the different stories that we talked about in the show notes on YouTube and Spotify and all of that. So if you want to look at whatever we're talking about. Okay, first story, I just wanted to get it out of the way. Our football recap. Obviously, it is the Chiefs and 49ers that will be going to the Super Bowl. We are already getting a few Super Bowl commercial teasers, which ever since I can remember, commercials have always been my favorite thing ever, specifically Super Bowl commercials. When I was, I think, 10 or 11, I was obsessed with commercials. And when the Super Bowl would come on, I was always watching, and I would rank all of the different commercials and like my favorite, best commercial, least favorite commercial. And I was like, when I get older, I'm going to go into like producing commercials, because I was so obsessed with commercials. And obviously that didn't happen, but I always look forward to the Super Bowl solely for the commercials, because they're quick, they're funny, they're relatable, they are what's going on with society. It's just like, they're amazing and perfect, and I love commercials. So I think the one I saw so far, the Cardi B one with, I think it's NYX or a makeup brand, and it has to do with her meme where she's like, that's suspicious, that's weird, and she's re-saying her line in the commercial, and it's really funny. And there was one other one I saw that I cannot remember, but I'm excited to see all the commercials, and I will be coming back with a full report of my favorite commercials and least favorite commercials, because some commercials, I feel like it's companies who are very well known and put a ton of money into them, and it just sucks, and it's like you wasted all of your money on that. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm not going to get the numbers right, but I know that having a commercial during the Super Bowl is insanely expensive, even if it's like a 15-30 second commercial. And so I remember when I was growing up, the commercials that were like 1.5, like the longer commercials, I would look up numbers, and it's probably way more now, but I was like, oh my gosh, like that is a lot of money for the Super Bowl. And I would always watch the commercials, but I was like, if people aren't watching them, like that's so sad for them paying all that money. But obviously everyone's watching the Super Bowl. Where was I going with this? Oh, football recap. Yeah, Chiefs and 49ers Super Bowl. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not excited for this. I'm excited for the commercials. I'm excited for the food. I'm not excited for the actual game. And I'm going to touch on a subject that I have never talked about on this podcast before. And before I say what I'm about to say, I mentioned this in the first episode I ever put out. I'm going to have different opinions than you. You're going to have different opinions than me. And that is totally okay. Obviously, football, the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, all of the headlines and news, as usual, are about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And I want to preface by saying I do like Taylor Swift. I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I grew up listening to all of her music. I had all of her CDs, all of her like piano songbooks that I would play on the piano. I grew up listening to her, and she was a big part of my childhood. This is not like a Taylor Swift hate page. However, I am so sick and tired of seeing them on my social media. I don't care about the whole TV situation. Like, yeah, if Travis Kelce scores a touchdown, of course, like, pan to their suite where she is. Like, obviously, that's what you do. I want to see the family after any player scores a touchdown or does something crazy. It's the Instagram of it all and the social media of it all. And obviously, my podcast, I look at news sources and news sites for information and stories to talk to you guys about. And when I tell you, it will be 6 stories in a row of a picture of Taylor and Travis and the dumbest headline ever. Like, they are grasping for straws. And at this point, it's just like, stop. Like, seriously, stop. And if I see one more person commenting like, well, just unfollow. It's like, if I unfollow, then I will unfollow every single person I know and every single news source Instagram account, because all they're posting is Taylor and Travis. Football should not be about the celebrities. I think football should be about the players. She's not the one winning the Super Bowl trophy. It is either the Chiefs or the 49ers. And I wish I could get inside like the football players' heads, because they're probably annoyed. And especially if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, all they're going to be doing is Travis is probably going to speak, and they're probably going to bring Taylor Swift out of the field, just talk about Taylor Swift. And that's all that it's going to be, is just them two. And it's like, that's not what football's about. Watching the Taylor Swift Super Bowl, like, no, it's not. It's the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. Like, Stop. Anyway, that's all I had to say. And I had to rant about it because I've been keeping my mouth shut for 15 episodes now, and I'm over it because someone's got to say something, and no one's saying anything. And I, a woman who grew up with Taylor Swift, am saying that I am annoyed. And if you're a girl or a guy, and if you're annoyed with it too, it's okay. Don't let the people scare you. Like, it's annoying. And even if you are the biggest Taylor Swift fan, you should take a look inside your head and think realistically, yeah, this is way too much. And like, this is enough. Enough is enough. I think that the NFL, they got the Chiefs there. They're going to make a ton of money off of it. I don't think they need the Chiefs to win. So if the 49ers, at the end of the day, like, the Chiefs are already in. So like, they're good. They're going to get all of the audience to watch that they wanted. And I hope the 49ers pull this off. Our next story, Suits was the most streamed show on any platform in 2023, and it beat The Office. I was so sad about this. You guys know The Office is my favorite show of all time. All I do is watch reruns and restart the whole series over and over and over. But Suits has beat their record. So Suits racked up 57.7 billion total minutes watched in 2023, so last year, and it put it just ahead of 57.1 billion minutes that The Office accumulated in 2020. However, they were saying that projects with more episodes and or longer episodes, so obviously Suits is longer episodes than The Office, it puts them at an obvious advantage. The entirety of Suits runs for about 83 hours, and The Office only has 73 hours of content. So it obviously has an easier time reaching that mark, but good for them. I feel like I need to get on the Suits train. I've never seen Suits before. However, all I hear is Suits, Suits, Suits. And with that also being said, Suits has officially been confirmed by Netflix that they are doing a spinoff called Suits LA. So it will be following the success of the original series. It features a character named Ted Black, who is a former federal prosecutor relocating his high-powered legal practice from New York to LA. Filming is scheduled to begin in March of this year, and it will be filmed in Vancouver. So I think I reported what the heck? I talked about this a few episodes ago that there was talk of Suits coming out with another show, but now they are officially doing that, and it has been confirmed. So good for them. I'm sad that it beat The Office. Maybe I didn't watch enough of The Office. But yeah. That's so many minutes, though. Like 57 billion minutes. But it went for last year, 2023 shows. So Suits, obviously. And then in second was Bluey. 3, NCIS. 4, Grey's Anatomy. 5, Cocomelon. I've heard Cocomelon is just like not good for like kids to watch or something. I don't know. Big Bang Theory, which who watches Big Bang Theory? I watch Young Sheldon, but who watches Big Bang Theory, and how are they still number 6 in like all shows watched? Gilmore Girls number 7, Friends number 8, Heartland, don't know, and then Supernatural number 10. Did you guys hear that? That guy's music was so loud in his car. Okay. So those are all the popular shows, at least the shows that were overall streamed the most. And I haven't really seen any of them, so I need to get on it, but I never will because I'm very content and happy with the shows I watch. Have you guys seen on Instagram, they'll always have the like different trends that people are posting, and it's like, it's a picture with different shows on it, and then you circle like the 5 that you'd want to keep or whatever. And I was like, I just want The Office circled because that's really all I care about. Okay. So yeah, go Suits. Our next story, Elon Musk reveals that the first human patient has received a brain implant from Neurolink. Can I just say, I never thought this would be something I would be talking about in my early 20s, that we are now putting implants in human heads. This feels like a weird sci-fi TV show or horror movie. So the first human to receive an implant from his computer brain interface company called NEUROLINK last weekend. What the heck? Like, that's so weird. So on Monday on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, which like I'll forever call it Twitter, Elon said that the patient received the implant and was recovering well. He added that initial results show promising neuron spike detection. I just don't understand what the point of this is. Like, why do we need to be putting things inside human heads? I think we're functioning pretty well without some tiny little piece in our head. But it says that Neuralink is one of many groups working on linking the nervous system to computers. It's aimed at helping treat brain disorders, overcoming brain injuries, and other whatever. This is just so stupid. I can't believe that we're doing this, and I never will put something like that in my head. I'm sorry, that's just not okay. I'm very happy with the technology we have now, and putting it in my brain, I feel like I've seen movies about this, and that is terrifying. But I feel like he had to say that the human patient was recovering. Otherwise, people probably thought he died. So he probably was like, I'll just say this so that people don't think that he died, because that would be really messed up if he did this. And I wonder how much, imagine being the one person that you're getting this thing in your head that could kill you. Like, what goes on in your head to sign up for this? Like, they must pay him a shit ton of money. Like, that to me, I'm just so shocked at this and this story, and I think this is so scary. And I have a lot more life left to live, and if we're already putting things in people's heads, I'm kind of scared. Okay, our next story I'm really excited to talk about because I watched this 3-part episode series on Netflix, and then I was scrolling through my Instagram and I saw that it was a story about the show that I watched. So it's a show called American Nightmare. It's on Netflix. It's 3 episodes. It is so good. Everyone needs to watch it right now. Please, I beg of you. So the couple speaks out about police victim blaming and why they hate the Gone Girl movie moniker. So American Nightmare is a documentary. So it was this couple, and they, in 2015, had a home invasion and a kidnapping. And the police in California falsely claimed that it was a hoax, and they are now speaking out after the series came out earlier this month. This show will make you so mad and so pissed off. Especially the one FBI officer, agent, or whoever he is, I immediately Googled what happened to him, because he does not deserve to be working anymore after everything that happened. And I don't want to give too much away, because you really just have to watch the 3 episodes to really understand and kind of feel all those emotions. But they are basically just kind of speaking out. The wife wrote a book, and it's on my list of books that I want to read. So I don't want to give too much away, but I'll give a little bit away. So if you aren't going to watch it and you just want a little bit of summary, you can listen. If not, just scroll to the next timestamp, next story that's in the show notes. So 2015, Huskins and Quinn were awakened in the middle of the night by armed intruders who bound them with zip ties, blinded them with blackout swimming goggles, and forced them into a closet. So the girl, Huskins, she was kidnapped, and then the guy, Quinn, he eventually called the police to help them. And so basically what happened is she got kidnapped, and then the kidnapper sent her boyfriend, you need to send me this much money, blah, 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 blah. We're a group of kidnappers, and this is what we do. We kidnap people for money. And then it came out that they thought the boyfriend killed her, and you can see they gave him a lie detector test, and then he passed, but they basically went in and told him that there's no doubt in their mind that he failed and he killed her, and totally just trying to get messing with his mind. And it was so awful. So then 2 days after the girl was held captive, she eventually returned, and I haven't seen the movie Gone Girl. I think it's based off of a book. Basically, the girl pretends to go missing and then comes back 2 days later. So this is what happens to her. Come to find out, she was kidnapped by this man, like raped. It was so traumatizing. And then 2 days later, the guy literally put her back in his car and took her back to her parents' house. And the police did not believe her. The police were they came out with a statement trying to like put the couple in jail, saying that they used all of the police resources and like it was a hoax and fake. And a woman officer from not even that same county ended up putting all these pieces together and solving the case. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it is insane. And you just have to watch it. It's gonna make you so mad at the just like whole police department, and just so awful. But yeah, she did write a book. It's called From Crime Victims to Suspects to Survivors. And they said, as the truth has come out, as we've spoken out more, as we wrote our book, we've had so many people reach out and show us support and sadly share their similar stories. Basically just they want to help people who've dealt with, you know, the victims don't have the same resources that they had, and like victims getting blamed, and just so creepy. It was probably the craziest true crime documentary I've ever watched or heard of. So I would recommend everyone watching it, and good for them for speaking out and finally, you know, getting justice and all of that. So crazy story. And I wish them all the best. They have 2 gorgeous, cute little girls, and I teared up at the end too. You really have to watch it. You're going to go through a lot of emotions. And yeah, story is a little bit more not as serious, but the Queens of Rap, they have been in a little bit of, you know, some drama, and we're going to get all into it because I am so invested in this. So Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion have been feuding. Megan Thee Stallion released a song that is called Hiss. It is so good, such a banger. And there's a line in there about Megan's Law. And if you don't know what Megan's Law is, Megan's Law basically protects people against sex offenders and says that like the list of sex offenders should be public for people. And so Nicki, of course, thought that it was a diss at her because she is apparently married to a class 2 sex offender, which is not great. So I don't know why she's getting all upset that when it's true. So that happened. And then literally 5 days after the Hiss song came out, Nicki came out with a diss track that is clearly about Megan called Bigfoot. And now Nicki's been going all off on Twitter or X and commenting all this stuff, and Megan literally just been sitting back quiet, not really saying much. So go her. I think silence will always speak louder than words, and as always, the winner is the one who is kind of silent. And so I just basically, like, to me, Nicki's just kind of fighting with herself because Megan is being so quiet. Like, she released this awesome song, and then it's kind of like, yeah, now people are going to remember, you know, who you're married to, and you can get mad at me, but I'm just going to sit back and be quiet and let you keep going off on social media. But I would definitely listen to both songs because they're actually really, really good. I'm trying to see what else. So yeah, the Hiss song, and then, yeah, so the Hiss song, there's no names that were mentioned. Really, the only thing is Megan's Law. So, you know, Nicki obviously had some guilt in her self-conscious, like, oh. And then her song Bigfoot, which is way worse. Let me just say, like, it's clearly about Megan Thee Stallion and just, like, not very nice. There was a line about the death of Megan's mother that was swearing on your dead mother when you lie and effing you get shot with no scar. Like, literally, you're gonna bring up her dead mother in your diss track? Come on. And apparently it's called Bigfoot because Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the foot, which is, like, not good. So I was just like, that is just, to me, way worse. And how did she pull that out in 5 days after the Hiss song came out is what I want to know. So Megan has yet to respond directly to Bigfoot. She posted a photo on her Instagram story of herself laughing after Nicki shared a snippet of the song before it was released. And then Nicki said on Twitter she has 5 songs ready to release if Megan so much as breathes wrong. And Nicki's also seeking an apology from Megan. I just, like, why is she being like this? Like, she is literally just coming up with drama and then just, like, being mad at herself and just, like, talking to nobody because Megan's not responding. Like, she's literally like, okay, you act crazy then. And also, I love Nicki, like, her songs I grew up listening to, but I feel like, can't handle not being the only female rapper. And she got into so much drama a long time ago when Cardi B first came out and, like, became a big success. And I feel like Nicki is just always causing drama and starting drama. And it's like, just chill out. Like, you don't need to be starting drama. Like, why can't they all, you know what I want to see? I want to see Nicki, Cardi, and Megan. I want them all to come out with a song and have this all be PR and have this all be just some crazy, stunt to have them all get together and make a song. That is what I want, because that would be the best song ever. And that is what needs to happen. They should just put all of the diss tracks that have already been out behind and come out with a song all together. And that is what I see happening for the future of this. But we will see if Megan responds or what happens. Until now, I will continue listening to their songs because anger creates good songs, I guess. So anyways, our next story. See, like, these stories are like, they're good, interesting stories. Our next story, which I'm so excited about, did the groundhog see his shadow? So the results of Punxsutawney Phil's 2024 winter forecast came out today. And I love groundhogs. I love that this is a thing. I love Groundhog Day. I just think it is the cutest little thing, and it's something that everyone looks forward to and everyone just agrees is so adorable and so cute. And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this. And even if it isn't really true and it's just kind of this whole stunt, I don't care because it's so freaking cute. And if you don't agree, then we can't be friends and you're at the wrong podcast. So Punxsutawney Phil predicted an early spring, which I feel like that hasn't happened in a while. I feel like the past few years it's been a longer winter. So he did not see his shadow in front of thousands of spectators, and it is official that spring is right around the corner. Okay, yeah, so this marks the first time since 2020 that Phil predicted an early spring, and the 21st time since records were kept. He's literally so cute. Like, oh my gosh, I want a groundhog. That is what I want. I want a groundhog. And then it says, if you look at the data, Punxsutawney Phil has a record of seeing his shadow more often than not. So before 2024, the groundhog saw his shadow 107 times, which means like a longer winter, and had not seen his shadow 20 times. Yeah, so it's going to be a good year. I'm telling you, like, 2024 is going to be such a good year. Such a good year. And we get spring. Like, I'm so excited for this. So thank you, Punxsutawney Phil. We love you so much. I feel like I need to get a Punxsutawney Phil sweatshirt or something. That would be so cute. I wish I, knew. I totally forgot Groundhog Day was today until I saw this article come out. And I was like, I should have prepared and, done something cute. I don't know. Next year, I'll make sure to celebrate big. But yay, spring! And our last story, we did it. We made it to our last story. And this is one that I'm excited about. And you probably wouldn't think I'd be excited about this because this is something about me that not many people know. And it's going to make me seem like, I don't know what you're going to think of me after this, but when Among Us came out, I was obsessed. I love Among Us. And sometimes if I'm in a really depressive episode, I'll download the app on my phone and I'll play a couple rounds of Among Us. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. If you've never played, what are you doing? It's so good. And anyway, the story. So Among Us, the animated series, drops first look teaser image. So they're coming out with a TV show about Among Us, and I'm literally freaking out because I love Among Us, but I don't tell anyone that. I don't really think anyone, honestly, it's probably the first time I've ever said it out loud. I love Among Us, and it's a fun game, and I'm so excited for this, and I will be watching this. So Among Us is in development. It's being developed by CBS Animation Productions and Innersloth, the independent game studio behind the highly popular Among Us game. So they came out with one image. It was just out of nowhere, and it is basically the Among Us when when you're waiting, like in the lobby, not in the lobby, but basically like, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. You'll know if you look at the picture. And then there's pizza on the tables and then balloons. And then there's like a banner that says "We're dead" with blood going through. So I am so excited for this and I will be watching it. Alrighty, let's get into, I'm actually going to do our crazy story segment first and then Bachelor at the end. So if you don't care about the Bachelor, you can just skip on out of here. Yeah, so we are just doing one crazy story that I just had to read off because it's a little crazy and I love it. So again, you can click in the link in my Instagram bio to go right into the anonymous Google form. It's also linked in all of the show notes on YouTube, Spotify, all of that fun stuff if you want to write in about anything. So let's read our crazy story segment. Hey, love the podcast. I'm a new mama, and when I was pregnant, my husband and I decided we didn't want our son's face posted on social media. Not a forever thing, but just a decision we made together, and we let all of our family and friends know beforehand. My husband's grandma, so technically my grandma-in-law, LOL, refused to listen to us and has posted pictures of our son multiple times in the last few months. I hate confrontation, but it pissed me off so bad. I went on her phone at a family gathering and deleted the pictures she had of him off of her Facebook. She still hasn't said anything to this day. So I feel like if you're a non-confrontational person like I am, you won't understand. But to me, this is so funny. And I always find ways around confrontation. So while this is totally crazy, in my head, someone who hates confrontation, you got to do what you got to do. And I know this isn't an advice segment. However, I just have to say that the fact that this isn't your grandmother, I think that your husband should say something. I feel like when it is like the, in-law side or like your husband or wife's side, like they should probably be the one, especially when it comes to like boundaries. I think that's really important. Also, like that would piss me off too, especially you let them know beforehand. And I think if she keeps doing it, then you will have to have a conversation at some point. And I would say if you do have the conversation, have your husband there with you so you're not as like stressed out, because I know how that is. Like I hate confrontation too. But I think that like it's your choice, it's your kid. You don't want to show them on social media. So that is like totally your choice. And I think people who don't respect that and respect boundaries are like just the worst. And obviously I think that since like the grandmother is older, she might not totally understand it. And so I think that especially now, I feel like it's a new thing for people to just kind of like hide their kids' faces, obviously for privacy reasons. And there's so many just bad things going on out there in the world. So I totally understand. But yeah, deleting the pictures is crazy. And it's funny she hasn't said anything. Again, like she probably won't ever notice. It'll probably be someone else in the family that notices. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and I applaud it. I applaud that. But I feel like some point in the future there is gonna be something else, and I would have your husband say something if you don't want to do that. So thank you for writing that in. That was definitely a crazy story, but nothing's too crazy for me or this podcast. I would just say that for sure. And now we're going to get into our Bachelor recap of week 2. I just want to say I'm loving The Bachelor. I think he is, like I said last week, he's so easy to watch. He's so lovable. He's so fun. And cringy, yes. The word I'm about to use, genuine. Like he is genuine. I feel like every girl there said it about him, but it's true. Like I think he's a great casting pick, and I'm really glad that The Bachelor picked him. So week 2, we are finally getting down to group dates, and I just want to say these 2 group dates were so awful. I hated them, and it was a hard watch. Like I feel like these last couple episodes or this season, it's just a hard watch, and I feel like they're not putting in a lot of effort. So the first group date, I think it was 8 girls. I don't remember how many. Maybe it was 9 or 10. But they basically all picked out a wedding dress. And then they all went to a wedding. So they were all marrying the Bachelor. And I hated it. It was just like, why are you doing it? It was just like so, I don't know. I did not like it. And of course, Jess kissed him again. And she wasn't as intolerable as last week. But she definitely is a little annoying. And, you know, what can you do? There's always that annoying girl. And then the second group date, it was like a boot camp, and Demi from a while ago came on, and it was just like so stupid. Like, these are just stupid group dates. And then Daisy got the one-on-one, and I swear to God, if she does not win, then this is so stupid. And I haven't read spoilers. I used to read Reality Steve spoilers all the time. I was really into it, but I'm not looking at all this season. I don't want to know anything. However, I might end up cracking when it gets down to hometowns. But yeah, the date was super cute. She's super cute. Their energies, you can tell, work really well together. They're both very sweet, genuine people. And genuine I think it's a cringy word, but it's a word that there's not really another word that I can use to describe how I feel about the situation, you know? You know what I mean? So Lauren, I'm pretty sure she was the one who came on with her sister. She was so annoying. Like, oh my gosh, I was like, you are so freaking just annoying. She annoyed me more than Jess did. And she basically like sent herself home because she's like, I just can't do this, but like maybe I'll see you at hometowns because like her sister's on there. And I was like, shut up. So if you watched it, you know, she was just like, I wanted to smack her across the face. So I'm glad. I think she went home, but I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm pretty sure she did. And then, of course, you know, what is The Bachelor without a little bit of drama? And there was some drama, but the Bachelor producers pulled this out of their ass. And I was like, this is so dumb. Basically, one of the girls was complaining that she was the oldest in the house and blah, blah, blah. And then Mariah, who I actually really like, I like her. And I know a lot of people don't like her. I like her. And I think she'll go decently far. She is a lot more out there, and you can tell she's very confident. So don't hate a girl because she's confident, and I love her. And so she overheard and then was basically talking to some other girls about, you know, I'm older too, but, you know, I'm not over here complaining about it. And then a random girl who, like, I don't even know where she came from, started the whole drama about, like, well, she's talking about my friend. Like, I'm not going to let that happen, so I'm going to bring it up. And then basically it's Mariah and I forget what her name is, like Sydney or something. Now next week it's a ton of drama where Sydney's gonna talk to him about like how Mariah is not who she says she is and she's fake, all because of one girl's complaining about her age, and then you were listening to her conversation, and like, this is so stupid. This is not an argument. This is like Bachelor just being so random and like, I don't know. So that's going to happen next week. I'm already dreading it because this is probably the dumbest fight that has ever happened in Bachelor history. And I want the Sydney blonde girl to go home over it. And if Mariah goes home instead of her, because normally I feel like in The Bachelor, if there's like two people arguing, they of course were next to each other at the rose ceremony, and then both were called like close to last. And I think they'll keep them together for a few episodes. And then one of them always ends up going home, because the Bachelor Bachelorette always sends part of the people who were in the drama home. And if they send Mariah home over Sydney, like, I'm gonna be so mad because like, she's just stupid. I can't stand her. And then so I didn't really see Autumn a lot, but he ended up like calling her name and giving her a rose at the end, and I was like, oh my gosh, Autumn, like, I love her. I think she's so cute, and I hope we get more of her. I'm thinking maybe they'll do a one-on-one with her a couple episodes maybe from now, because she's really sweet and she hasn't been in any of the drama, I don't think. So I'm excited. I hope she stays, and watch her literally go home this upcoming Monday because I bring it up. But yeah, I love her. And then Daisy, love her. So we will see what happens. I'm thoroughly enjoying this season, even though it's stupid and cringy, but there are a little bit of good pieces throughout, and I'm really excited to see who ends up making it to the final four and then what happens at the end. So that is our little Bachelor recap. Make sure to tune in next Saturday, and we'll go over this upcoming Mondays. And well, next week's gonna be a really fun episode because we'll have Bachelor recap and we'll have Grammys recap, and then the day after that it'll be the Super Bowl. So we'll see. I feel like there's a lot of fun stuff coming up. I'm excited for the Grammys, and I'll definitely be recapping that. So And I think that's everything I have for you guys today. I need to finish getting ready and figuring out what the heck the surprise is for this weekend. I'm very stressed out about it, if you can't tell. But make sure that you are following the Instagram, subscribing to the YouTube. I think I'm at 30 subscribers, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but like to me, like, thank you guys for subscribing. I post the videos of my podcast every single week. It takes a lot of time to edit, so please, 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 if you do not mind subscribing to the YouTube, give a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcast. You just hit 5 stars. It's super simple, super easy. It'll take you like 3 seconds. And yeah, write in if you feel so inclined, and we'll read it off next week. But I hope everyone has an amazing first weekend of February, that you just have an amazing month of February in general. Go do something fun. It is spring soon. Thank you to our cute little groundhog for giving us that. And it's going to be a good year, guys. So thank you for tuning in again to another episode of Literally What. And we will see you back here next weekend for some more hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what. Bye.